guys, I hope you're all doing well. I just realized I didn't have earrings on. That's weird. Anyway, coming to you to review some new sponges that I've had, showed you guys in hauls very recently. These aren't all the sponges that are out, but just wanted to show you some I have an e.l.f. sponge, a Real Technique sponge, and 2 L'Oreal sponges I want to talk about today. I did purchase these mini ones from Sephora, and I showed you guys in the haul. I have not got around to using those yet. It was just so many. You got to start somewhere. But I did want to talk to you about these. These are all for face sponges. Well, all sponges are for face, but like the larger size. And just how I feel about them and what's going on. So we're going to start with the Real Techniques Diamond Sponge. They're all dirty, by the way. I apologize. They're all dirty. Actually, 2 of them I just got finished putting this makeup on. But anyway, what this is, it's diamond shaped. Let me show you the cleaner side. It has like this marble design on it. Can we see that? So it's diamond shaped, and what is it, 13 facets, which are like faces. The faces, flat planes on the shape. Okay, it feels like the Real Techniques quality. The orange sponge, it feels just like it. It's soft and squishy. All these sponges I have wet and blown up, you know what I mean. Yeah, so it's very soft. What I use this for today is I used it to go under the eye. Now, because this sponge is made from the same material as the Real Technique sponge, I cannot knock it. Although the shape, it's not my favorite shape. The point, yeah, I get it. You can get real good up in there, and it could be really, really nice for baking. But I mean, if you want to try it out, it has the same texture as the Real Technique sponge. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. But as far as the shape, if you need this shape, I don't think I need this shape in my collection. It's not, I don't think it's some, oh my God, that's so innovative and it's perfect for, I don't really know. And to be honest, I use this, I used 2 of these sponges today, like doing this makeup and trying them in different ways. And I used the other 2, when did I use the other 2? I want to say a few days ago for the first time. And then I know I've used them multiple times, but I'm trying to figure out the first time I used them, like what I put on my face. This time I used a concealer. I'm trying to figure out, I can't remember what I was putting on my face, like what type of foundation or whatever, so I could tell you. But anyway, the flat side, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a nice big flat side for foundation. Just out of preference, even with the Real Technique sponge, I am not a fan of a flat side to blend up my foundation. I will do it, but I much prefer, let me grab a beauty blender, or any other sponge with this shit. I much prefer a rounded end. It's so funny because Emily Noel did a video on her sponges very recently, and she called it the butt end. But anyway, the butt end of a sponge, to just that rounded part, I think it definitely helps distribute the product. It makes it look a little bit more airbrushed with the rounded end to the sponge. And I feel like flat is more just like spackling it on. I don't know. But I'm not a big fan of the flat edge with the foundation, for foundation. So it's up to you guys how you feel about that sponge. The next sponge, dirty as well, is the e.l.f. sponge. The e.l.f. blending sponge. My sister gave me this. This one, oh, retails for $9.99. It's $10 by itself. This one is, Carmen, I'm going to say less than $5. And I like it. However, it is not the softest. I'm going to tell you right now, it's wet, but it's definitely not as soft and squishy. Yeah, I can't get it flat. It's definitely not that soft. However, it is soft. It's not, what am I trying to say? It's not rock hard, you know? It has some give to it. It definitely has some give. But what I think benefits this, helps the sponge with that texture is, let's say you're using not as liquidy. By it not being that soft, I would equate it to not being as absorbent. So you're not going to lose a lot of product in this sponge, if you understand what I'm saying. But it blended my makeup very, very well. I'm wearing the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation today. It blended my makeup really, really well. I didn't knock it. You know, it blended it really, really well. I honestly do not like this part. I have no purpose for this such large point on a makeup sponge. It just won't fit here. It ain't the thing. Maybe cream contour, but I always apply my cream contour with either my fingers or my brush, and and then use a sponge to blend it out. So initial application, I wouldn't use one for that. But again, personal preference. But I really do like the rounded end. I like this shape actually for gripping. Believe it or not, the Beauty Blender sometimes is weird to grip. The Real Technique sponge is not bad, but again, I don't like that flat side. But this, I feel like, is the perfect grip for it. I really like that. Again, a little bit firm. It's not the hardest. It's not hard at all. But it's definitely not like a Beauty Blender or a Real Technique sponge in terms of softness. Not a big deal, if you ask me. But there's one I like even more. Two I like even more, and I'm going to talk about them together. The Real Techniques. The L'Oreal sponges. L'Oreal came up with some new sponges when they came up with the Total Coverage Foundation. When they came up with like the concealer palette, blush palette, all that new line that just came out. They came up with sponges. They came out with 3. There's a green one that's called Highlight and Contour, but I wasn't interested in that one. But I may get it now due to these. Holy moly. Let's talk about this one first. The face brush for face blending. This one is like the... I forgot what it's called. I need to do the research and put everything at the bottom. This is for like, that's what I use it for, concealer. And we'll talk about that. This one, similar shape to the e.l.f. one, although it comes to a little bit of a point. Doesn't bother me. It's still not the best. Like, I have no desire for that shape there. But just the texture of this sponge, it is very, very soft and squishy. It is not as porous as a Beauty Blender. It's about the same. No, I'm lying. It's a little bit more porous than the e.l.f. sponge. This one was $7. What am I trying to say about this texture? It's hard to describe. It reminds me like if the e.l.f. sponge and the Beauty Blender had a baby. Not as porous as the Beauty Blender, but less solid as the e.l.f. one. If you get what I'm saying. But anyway, great grip. I love the shape. But this sponge, maybe because, I don't know, with the Beauty Blender, it's a great sponge. It blends out, airbrush. Like, I feel like everyone should have one. However, I've noticed that the Beauty Blender is very absorbent. It's a sponge. It's going to soak up makeup. And I feel like this one is the perfect, like in terms of order, the Beauty Blender makes you look flawless, yet I feel as though you have to use more product. The e.l.f. sponge, I feel like you have to use less product, but you don't get as flawless of a finish on your face. However, this one is like the perfect hybrid. You get a very decent look to the skin, and it also doesn't suck up as much product, if you understand what I'm saying. I fell in love with it. I am loving it. I've used it with my Clinique foundation. I used it with my, where's the foundation I'm looking for? It's not on my table. The Clinique foundation. Also, I used it with my L'Oreal Infallible foundation. And I also used it with the LA Girl Pro. And it gave me the same result. I mean, the foundations are different, but gave me the same result as far as application. Finally, I think unless someone comes out with something miraculous, I have found the best size and shape sponge for my under eye area. This bad boy right here. This is the L'Oreal one again. Came out with the other 2. And what it is it looks like a little cone. And then you have one side is cut with a, cut even, like a little steep in it. First off, I don't mind a tiny sponge. I do not mind a tiny sponge. I love the idea. This is a Real Techniques one. I love the idea of a tiny sponge to get under the under eye. However, I have big hands and a big face. And this can get the job done, but this can get the job done just as well and much faster. Again, it's just as porous as the Real Techniques mini one, and that's fine, but the shape, the point of it, I don't know, it's perfect for me to go in, and I'm talking like a one set of dabs across, and it's blended out. I was like, wow. When I first used this, I used it like first thing in the morning. I was getting ready for work, so I didn't film or anything, but I was just like, wow, it was amazing. I've used it with about 2 to 3 different concealers, multiple shades, because you know I mix my shades or whatever. Very, very nice. Soft. It's in that middle between the Beauty Blender and like this e.l.f. sponge in terms of the porousness. Porous. I know that word. I know there's a word for that. In the middle, but it's the perfect size. And again, it's bigger than the Real Techniques one. Check that out. I have this Real Techniques one has a flat part, but it doesn't come to a point. And this one, I can't really, it's hard for me to explain things like sponges, but this is my favorite under eye blending out device. It actually beats my Morphe brush that I love for concealer, M173. It's my favorite thing to blend out concealer. It was for a long, long time, and it's still up there, but this bad boy, I just had to share. I just had to share with you guys. I will definitely be picking up more of these. I can't wait till L'Oreal's on sale at Ulta. But yes, you guys, so I just want to give a quick review on the 4 new sponges that I purchased recently. You guys have seen. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about them, go ahead and leave them down below. I love you all, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.